of Legend. And we have a race between EnPassant and notanigloo. Both these players, I think they're pretty similar runners. I'd say, from what I know about EnPassant, he's done a lot of work into the science, especially with Knuckles and stuff. notanigloo hangs around lots of the SA2 players and has absorbed knowledge just from doing that. So, I guess we're getting started already. Yeah. Okay. I don't quite have the RTMP stream, so I'm gonna be delayed probably. Unless it's on here. Okay. Alright. I didn't get linked it, but I should be getting video in a second. Oh, there it is. There is the link. This is what I need in order to give you guys the info. There we are. Alright, I'm set. Anyways, EnPassant with a little bit of a lead right now. But, I mean, it's basically even at this point. Their timers are a little bit... I was gonna say, their in-game timers are a little bit different. Actually, no, I guess right about now they're about the same. Yeah, never mind. They're pretty much on dead even pace. Look at that. Who's the favorite to win on this? I don't know. I'm pretty sure EnPassant spent more time on the game. I don't think their PVs are that far off from each other though. So this is gonna be pretty tight. So I think this will probably come down to either Knuckles RNG or someone getting tilted. I think that everyone's gonna be doing very similar strats though. So their times are gonna be similar. Seeing notanigloo only 3 seconds behind here, finishing the end of city escape.
Too easy. Piece of cake.
So yeah, if you want to bet on someone, I would personally bet on EnPassant. But I definitely would not bet in confidence.
This game of tag is boring. I'm out of here. Finally decided to show up, eh? Okay. Bring it on!
Fire Trip Bigfoot reporting to headquarters. Intruder has been located.
Anyways, we're going into Bigfoot. Let's see if these guys have the big boy strats going up to the front box. A little slow on these extra hits, which is going to push Bigfoot back. notanigloo opting for the back box. A little bit easier to get some of these hits off. But not that much slower. But it might stack up in the end. Like I was saying, their PVs are so close that just a couple seconds could mean a lot. Ooh, EnPassant almost hitting Omochow there. That would have been bad, but he had just the right amount of awareness to realize, and he moves out of the way. EnPassant getting pretty decent pieces. And
I found him.
wow, this is really strange. Look at that. We got a really good layout for EnPassant.
Yeah,
notanigloo with a pretty similar layout, but he did have to go a little bit more right, and that means that he has to cross over the big wind vortex thing in the middle. So that will slow him down a bit going to his third piece. Which, I guess that should have been the second piece. But yeah, good. That was a good layout for EnPassant. But he's having trouble with these hits. we talk about how this boss is press up and press B, you know, the game. But yeah, neither of these guys handling this with tons of grace. You're really going to want to get 12s and 13s on it, and it's not too hard to do. But, you know, sometimes Eggman will do something a little bit different. Might freak you out. Anyways, we're going into Prison Lane. Let's see how these guys jump around these corners to keep all their speed up. EnPassant's coming in on a 28 on the check. Gonna have to stop for the door. See, notanigloo coming up to the same thing. They're on pretty much the same pace going through this. But a little bit of issue on the gate hop is actually going to put notanigloo just a tiny bit behind. Okay, so he gets the shot through the wall there. Gonna open up one of the gates back there just a little bit early, so he can walk right through here. Saves a few seconds. Yeah. From what I'm seeing right now, it just seems like notanigloo's just leading like a second or two over EnPassant. They're very close, but it's just these tiny little things that notanigloo's messing up that EnPassant is managing to hit. That's really making the difference. But EnPassant hitting a 134 at that check? Notanigloo's not that far behind. But he misses both the gate hops.
I did it!
That's gonna really put a damper on this time. 150 coming from EnPassant. That's an okay time. 152, yeah.
That was easy.
They're extremely close to each other. Hopefully this is gonna be the pace throughout. You know? Maybe we can see notanigloo catch up a little bit. See him take the lead for a little bit. They'll just switch back and forth. That's the kind of stuff we want to see here. I don't think this is going to be a blowout for anyone. I think that they're going to be good competition. You can compare their upgrade times. Ooh, EnPassant accidentally hitting Beetle there. It's going to slow him down a lot, because he's going to have to homing attack across the entire thing. And notanigloo saving a couple seconds because of it. Neither of these runners are going to be going for a pulley skip. It doesn't really make sense for them to. It's a pretty small time save. It's going to be very punishing if you miss it. Ooh. EnPassant turning a little bit too much in midair, so he couldn't... They're dead even with each other. I wonder what happened at the top of that little hill. I couldn't really see. He just kind of stopped. I'm kind of confused, not gonna lie. But yeah, both of them setting up for the rocket jump. And they make it. We can see the time difference here. Notanigloo looks like he's about 1 second ahead, like time-wise, on the, you know, cutscene-wise, but his timer is a lot shorter. Lots of weird stuff happened on that second checkpoint for EnPassant that unfortunately bled a lot of time. So he's going to end up taking a 140, where notanigloo's taking a much stronger 132.
Barely made it.
We might have another guest joining in today. We'll see how that turns out. Won't just be me.
So good. Hey,
But yeah, these guys are super close to each other.
I found
This is going to be a good race.
Faker.
It's already been going on, and I'm just saying it's gonna stay like this throughout. And it looks like my guest has arrived.
Yeah, I think this is a first for the tournament, but I happened to get home from work like 1 minute after this race started. But yeah, I've been following this race so far, and I agree with a lot of what Geek's been saying. Like, it's really closely fought, and at this point, I really don't know who I'd favor to win this race.
Yeah, I was just saying, like, EnPassant, his strength is definitely his knowledge, especially of Knuckles, because I know he's done a lot of work with, like, modding the game and figuring out science, but I haven't seen him doing a lot of runs, so that's what, like, I'm not exactly sure about.
Yeah,
I figured their PVs are pretty close.
Yeah, if EnPassant definitely has the theoretical edge of the two runners, but notanigloo, like, he's not a slouch either. He knows what the run's about. And, you know, at the end of the day, this game being what it is, PB is not necessarily an indicator of how well one's going to perform in a race because of not only the RNG, but because of just how difficult some of the tricks can be to perform consistently. So, really, it's a mixture of luck and, honestly, a runner's form on any given day can affect how well they're going to do in a race, so we're really just going to have to sit back and watch.
Yeah. EnPassant catching that rail at a really bad spot, and he loses pretty much all of his speed. His whole
also struggling a little bit on some of these ramps. Green Forest has a lot of these small slopes that can force you to get a lot of unwanted airtime, and then unwanted airtime means you are losing a lot of time purely from just not being on the ground and spin dashing, which is the quickest way to move.
Yeah. We can see that with their check times, too. EnPassant caught about 4 seconds over notanigloo just in this first half of the stage. Definitely, this first half of the stage is definitely really volatile. Sometimes the game is really nice to you and lets you stick to the ground, and sometimes it just feels like it's out of your control.
Yeah, I don't know about you, I personally feel like Rust plays some factor into that. I always personally feel when I'm playing this game that if I'm a little rusty, the game is a lot less willing to cooperate on little things like that.
Yeah. It might just be down to, like, small spin dash timings where you have slightly too much speed and, like, some weird pseudo RNG with your positioning.
Yeah, there's just a lot of really small and dynamic factors in this game that are too precise to be able to visually determine what's going on. But yeah, both players, I mean, they've had their ups and downs throughout this Green Forest, but neither player has, like, played this considerably better or worse than the other, so they're still coming out of this no more than a few seconds apart, which is really nice.
Yeah. I'm thinking, if anything, just given EnPassant's probable Knuckles knowledge, I think it's going to come down to, like, Death Chamber and Meteor Herd, where he just knows how to move around the stage better.
That's possible, yeah.
And yeah, based on, like, other races we've seen, like, we saw a race from notanigloo yesterday where he was having trouble with just remembering a couple Death Chamber pieces just in general. Yeah. So that might drain minutes off his time.
There's always the possibility of a free piece swinging things as well, but in this stage at least, that's not really likely to happen. Pumpkin Hill doesn't really have many free pieces to speak of, especially in story-style play where you will always get a piece 3 that's underground. So there are a lot of pieces that you could perhaps see floating around the stage, but you won't see them in a story run like this.
Yeah, I think pretty much the only piece you could see for free is Twin Skulls. That's the only one I can think of off the top of my head.
Well, you could debatably see Ghost Pumpkin's necklace or Angel's Ring.
Well, not as a third piece, though.
Yeah, that's just what I mean. If you could get those, you could debatably see those as free pieces. In story style, though, I'd agree that, yeah, there's nothing really you could see.
Yeah. Ooh, EnPassant got King of the Hill? No, he's not turning around. He's got a church piece.
They've both got their respective variants of when you do something bad, this might happen. That's wow.
Yeah.
That's uncanny. Wow.
Yeah, that's. But yeah, notanigloo edging out just a little bit ahead. You can see though his in-game timer is a lot worse, so it looks like EnPassant's just catching up. ever so slightly.
Yeah,
The weight hop might be a make or break moment here in this run.
that's true. Yeah, they're coming into Mission Street, which is a almost entirely cycle-based stage, and there is a moment right after getting the booster where they can perform a very tightly placed hover jump by pause buffering to get two A inputs close together, and that will basically decide whether they can get on this falling weight before it rises back up. And it's a very precise set of inputs to get it, but if a runner does get it, they can potentially save over 10 seconds on this stage. So let's see how Igloo does.
Oh,
he's-
that's a little fumble on the menu.
Don't exit the game. Whatever you do, don't select exit game. Alright, EnPassant's turn at this.
Hey,
He's got it!
yeah,
Wow. Look at how close these guys are now as a result of that.
yeah. I noticed too, actually, EnPassant's game at the beginning of the stage is actually moving a little bit slower. I don't know if like his computer was lagging a little bit. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was moving a little bit slower. So that's why they were pretty much exactly even at the weight.
Yeah, runners definitely do prefer the PC version because of the shorter loading times, but yeah, I can see it's happening again a little. It does mean, however, that runners are technically beholden to performance of their machine. Like, if you're running a console version, you're at least going to get a stable performance. Either way, it looks like they're both going to be getting first cycle then. In fact, no,
EnPassant's still on zero cycle pace, I think. Did he hit anything?
He missed the first set of drums going up after the first pulley. He mistimed his hover jumps to get up those as they were rising. So instead, he's grabbing, I think, the same cycle. Yeah, he's going to get like a 1-4 checkpoint.
Okay, same cycle then.
138 checkpoint, definitely respectable for first cycle pace.
Yep. A lot of the times on the stage are pretty standardized, again, because everything runs on a cycle.
Yeah.
So you can predict the in-game times pretty well just from that.
This part of the stage that the runners are currently on, though, after the cycle, there is a little bit of time variance here because the movement from here on out is pure technique, both getting through these boxes without getting slowed down and taking these corners without getting slowed down.
Yeah. EnPassant having a small little issue with the second set of boxes, but no issues with any of the cars here, it looks like. So
Cornering's a little tricky there, so the problem with the cornering in this spot especially is that we normally advocate for jumping to turn corners as much as possible. You can actually take those corners without jumping, but it's only if you let the camera do most of the work.
That was a little
Yeah.
tough.
working with the camera, if you're not used to it, it might seem kind of like funky, but you have to be really careful with your analog stick movements.
Mm. So
Let's see if we get any free pieces here.
yeah, Igloo doesn't have any. Or he's
No.
checking for some extra ones at the top. Doesn't look like it.
Expect the inside of the mines to be like this.
I can't see any cutscene ones at any rate.
Than I thought.
And EnPassant doesn't have a ping at the start of the stage, so he's actually checking this hint monitor directly behind him. Because there are a couple of reset-worthy pieces that you can get. But he doesn't have one, so he's just gone up as normal.
Yeah. He could still get Guardian to switch.
Oh!
And he
You
gets
had
it.
to say it! You had to...
It's a blessing. Commentator's blessing.
Miracle of...
That's a
commentator,
nice
wow.
change. Stair-shaped brick room. This is an extremely good layout. If he
Yeah.
did the sign clip out there,
Oh,
that
God, yeah.
this is still a good layout though. Like even
Yeah.
without that.
The only problem with the intended route here is that you do have to go through the water, which is quite slow, because there's no way to move through water quickly in this game.
Yeah.
I found him.
Ending with a 39. Pretty strong. It's a pretty strong time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd agree so. Getting that free piece definitely really helped him because, I mean, for reference, if he didn't have that free piece, not only would he need to go back for that piece, but that piece was in the very top of the area, which is the most inconvenient spot to need to return to as well.
Both runners going into Route 101. I imagine them probably getting similar times. There's hopefully not a ton of variance here, as long as you have like Like, especially if you get the final boost at the end of the stage, that's probably one of the most important parts. And as long as you don't, like, run into any walls and spin out.
Yeah, like, it is possible to die in this stage, but I would say it's difficult to die as long as you are aware of what you're doing.
Yeah. You can see as they're going over like these big jumps and they get lots of air, they're actually saving the boosts for that point so that they can land and get up to maximum speed as fast as possible. And they're going to be drifting back and forth like this in order to preserve that higher speed cap.
That's right, yeah. Yeah, EnPassant choosing to use that boost that he was holding after he hit the car, which generally you'll see a lot of runners do that, where if they accidentally hit a car, they'll immediately boost out of it, because hitting a car in this stage generally causes a lot higher speed loss than hitting a wall does, as long as you don't flat out spin out on the wall.
Yeah. If you hit only one car, though, you actually are still going faster drifting than like driving straight. So it's not necessarily the worst thing in the world if you hit a car. But
Yeah. Like, hitting a car on the final straightaway, if you don't have a boost, though, that in itself can cost a couple of seconds.
yeah.
Just from having a slightly lower speed value on the final straight.
Just a few more minutes.
Okay, so he's using the boost there, knowing that he's going to get another boost right here. And he even grabs the balloon just for safety, but the car was way out of his way, so he was plenty safe there.
EnPassant choosing to take that hairpin turn there by actually deliberately crashing into the first wall, which is a method to get around there, as it does cause you to rebound off the wall a little more aggressively.
Yeah. There's not really much that you can do to get around that corner. Slowing down there isn't worth it, so it's just worth it to hit a wall. And you, depending on how you hit the wall, you hardly lose any speed.
Yeah.
The only way that you really lose speed hitting walls is if you hit a really sharp angle. There's a notanigloo with a 222. It's an okay time. The EnPassant gonna be losing just a little bit of time, probably from that spin out very early on.
Yeah, he's getting a 225 here, it looks like. The in-game timer, when you finish the stage, doesn't actually correspond very well to the time that you're going to get on the results screen.
Yeah.
Igloo's struggling with the start of Hidden Base here. This stage definitely has the reputation of being perhaps the most technical tail stage for a good reason.
Yeah. It seemed... I guess he was trying to shoot down the... Yeah, he was trying to get on top of there, but he accidentally shot that tank. So
I think
he
so,
couldn't
yeah.
jump on it.
Oh, that was a little weird, clipping back in the top of there. Choosing not to go for axle jump, so he's taking what is technically the slowest route through the stage, but it's definitely the easiest route as well.
Yeah. He doesn't get a lot of height from that jump, though, so he's going to have to retake it.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is important for EnPassant, because this can be potentially a huge time save. But he makes a very similar mistake.
Yeah, he's kind of just struggling with hover jump height a little bit. And I mean, hover jumps, they're not trivial. They look like absolutely nothing when the runners are performing them here, but it is sometimes tricky to get two A inputs bunched very close together.
Yeah.
He's losing a bit too much height on GC skip though, so what he's trying to do there is clip through both corners of that wall at the same time, because rubbing up against a wall as tails while you're hovering will push you down. But if you contact both of those walls at the exact same time, then you will clip through without them interfering with your travel. But it's very, very precise. He's going for it again, so second... Oh no, he's
just going around. Yeah. I've seen lots of runners this tournament going around like that. I don't know if it's because they're bailing out of, like, you know, CG skip or not CG skip, GC skip.
Yeah. I think it might be because they're a little afraid that if you just take the path normally, you do actually need a fairly good hover jump to get above an invisible wall that's on the straight path.
Yeah.
I think that may be it.
I don't think it... I'm pretty sure you can just, like, jump over that. Like, you do a jump in a normal hover. You don't need a very strong hover jump to get across going straight. So...
I've seen a lot of people making a mistake on that part, so I'm not entirely sure myself. It could also be that runners may think that you need to take an additional jump off the second door that you're going over, which is very thin and quite difficult to accurately gauge landing on it.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's notanigloo ending with a 2:14. Not an amazing time by any means, but
It's like,
yeah,
whilst that is true, it is again important to remember that Tails is probably the most difficult of the characters to have.
What is this camera? Oh wait. Okay, never mind. That was
Yeah,
just.
so Tails is difficult to have fundamental movement with, and Hidden Base is a difficult stage. So the seconds can really, really start adding up in Hidden Base surprisingly quickly.
Yeah.
Coming up to this box bounce, we're going to be seeing similar bounces to that once Sonic has his upgrade, the bounce bracelet, but that one is purely just performed by jamming yourself in a corner and spin dashing up because the game doesn't know how to handle some geometry particularly well.
Yeah. So now he has the bounce bracelet, and we're gonna see one of the first big uses right here. He's gonna spin dash into the wall, do a little bounce, and all his horizontal speed's gonna become vertical speed.
This is actually a pretty clean Pyramid Cave so far. This is nice, and he gets
Yeah.
the door
First
skip
try
as well.
door clip.
The first try door clip with what looked like minimal setup as well, so that was nice.
Yeah.
That was
We'll
a
see how he
little tough.
handles this last little chunk of the stage. This
Yeah,
part's this
he's
part
going
can
for
be
Snakescape.
yeah. This part can be a huge killer, especially if you mess up. There are lots of mess up points later on, like even near the end of the goal ring. So
Just about made that. That was nice. So now he just needs to close out the rest of Pyramid Cave, and the stage, from this point on, the rest of the stage honestly is not a free gimme. There are still kill points from here to the end of the stage.
yeah, it's all going to depend how safely he wants to take this ending. If he wants to go for the loop skip, things might get a little shaky. But
He attempted it. He's trying to go in. He's going in big.
trying to recover, trying to get on the spline.
I will be
Makes it
surprised if he tries to speed up at this spot. Yeah, he's just taking the rest of this safe, which is honestly
Don't blame
a
him.
pragmatic decision.
Yeah. Ooh, EnPassant's gonna have to hit the hourglass there again because he took damage and
He did make sure to get another ring though, since that mech was giving him a bit of trouble.
yeah.
Now he's also trying to do the same super bounce over this tall wall that Igloo was doing. He actually does it against the corner there, which does tend to give you some extra height for the same sort of reason that clipping through the corner with GC skip is necessary, but kind of in reverse, if that makes sense. Two walls are better than one in this case.
Yeah. Gives him just a little bit of extra contact to hit, get a little bit of an extra boost on top of hitting the first wall.
So Igloo's got Big Marshmallow as his first piece in Death Chamber. This is a really good first piece as it's right in the core, so it's easy to get to, and there's a couple of hint monitors very close by after collecting this.
Yep. Let's make sure to miss Omo Chow. Tilted picture.
Yeah, so it would have been possible to take a Death Abuse for this piece, but it's less potent to take Death Abuses in an RTA context, which these races obviously are. It's just going by pure real time. If this was a simple run, then it would be preferable to Death Abuse for that, since the in-game timer is frozen while you die and respawn.
See, this is an interesting third piece because this is going to be in the blue secret room, which, if you're proficient with like a lot of the clip outs in this stage, they've got one right in the top of red room, booty clip, and you can actually use that to get to blue secret very quickly.
Yeah, like in the hands of a top runner, this piece set was actually extremely good.
Yeah, it's gonna clean it out with a 117, which isn't really too bad for like a run context.
Yeah.
So,
And considering that this is a race between, I would say, like two intermediate level runners, a 117 Death Chamber is really healthy.
yeah,
EnPassant's going to have to get some good pieces or have some very good knowledge of where he's going in Death Chamber to need to avoid losing time to that. We'll see if he gets a free piece when he spawns in, because there are a couple of free pieces that can be checked for as soon as you spawn into Death Chamber.
Huh. No problem.
Non-Igloo heading into King Boom Boo. I don't believe he'll have any problems with this. It's for these guys, a boss like this should be pretty typical.
He did get a little too far ahead of King Boom Boom at the start there, which delayed the start of his fireball cycle, but now that the fight's in progress properly, I don't think he should struggle with the one cycle either. Takes a hit on the Hourglass Ghost at first though.
Yeah, it's a little scared there. Need to face his fear head on.
Yeah.
A little too headlong though.
Yeah. As long as he doesn't get too far ahead of Boom Boo, which it doesn't look like he is, yeah, he's perfectly fine. It is possible to be too far ahead and accidentally hit him the other way, which pretty much kills the one cycle on the spot.
Yeah. EnPassant getting Bug's food as his first piece, which is actually in
He's just getting a little confused with where the pieces are. Death Chamber is a particularly difficult stage to learn the layout of, because the layout itself is quite disorienting in how it's color-coded and how the painting warps work. But there's a lot of fairly similarly named pieces as well, and it can be difficult to get a grip on where certain piece names correspond to.
Yeah. He's probably thinking like Bug's Defense.
Yeah,
Bug's
that's
Defense
what
is
I
the
assume.
green room version of pretty much the same piece.
But no doubt he knows to take a death after this. Yep, so he's attempting death strats. Hopefully, as soon as he respawns in red, he's already going to have a ping.
Oh.
Nope. Is he going to
Yeah.
retry for this? Or is he just going to...
I think so.
Yeah,
Looks like
he's
he's trying
trying
to go into the fire.
It's worth taking note that it is absolutely worth, before taking a death, doing a free piece check for Bugs on Patrol, which is the free piece 3 that you can get in this run, since it is possible to get that and then Death Abuse again for another free piece.
This third piece can be Flat Scorpion. Not a bad piece. It's in core.
Yeah,
So-
this is a very easy piece to get to. He does just have to make sure to get the weight switch so that the falling weight that's above this piece won't trigger. You can collect this piece while out of bounds, which is fairly uncommon for underground pieces, but he's not in a state to go out of bounds to grab this.
Yeah.
I found him.
I mean, so Non-Igloo's struggling a little bit with this Egg Golem.
Yeah, Egg Golem is, after all, the final boss of the run. It's not,
Yeah.
but it's definitely the most difficult. His problem is that he's ending up behind the boss a little too much, which is causing him to do a spin cycle. And
Look at
even
that.
though he's getting super bounces now, unfortunately, while this happens... Oh, my
Oh.
word. Homing
Yeah.
attacks are so good.
Who's
Yeah,
there?
like, unfortunately, if you get super bounce hits while he's spinning around, killing him whilst he's spinning won't stop the spinning animation, so you still have to wait for him to actually finish the attack.
Yeah. So he's gonna finish a 119 and some change. It took him
Yeah.
a couple resets to get that.
So it's possible, I don't know how EnPassant is with super bounces, it will be possible for him to make up some time there if he gets a clean fight. You can get as low as like 25 seconds on Egg Golem, so it's possible to save nearly up to a minute on that.
Yeah. I mean, to save time over what Non-Igloo did, he could even do a super bounceless Egg Golem. But
That's true,
he's,
yeah.
He's probably gonna need that in order to make the catch up, assuming Non-Igloo avoids making any major mistakes.
Well, he's just lost a cycle on Eternal Engine, and I didn't quite catch the reason why, but that particular mistake can be due to the game itself and not the fault of the runner at all. You get pulled up by that pulley there, and you just need to jump off when it reaches the top, but the problem with that specific spot is that the pulley does bounce up and down when it reaches its top spot, and you are off camera while you do that jump, so it's very possible to jump at its lowest point. You'd have no knowledge of that, and that actually isn't enough height to clear the gap, so that may be what happened there.
Yeah. One thing that I found works for that little jump is you actually don't need to do like a tight pause hover or a tight hover jump to make it over there. You can actually just do like a really full, like you hover right around where you'd be max height or something, and you'll make it just fine.
Yeah,
So sometimes
and
if you
that
do
is-
like a really bad hover jump and you don't get a lot of height out of your initial jump, then you might actually be losing height.
Yeah, and that tends to happen since you'll have seen that from Hidden Base, there's a few pulleys taken in that stage as well. The pulleys in and of themselves tend to give you quite a big upward boost when you exit them. So it's not like the tight hover jump is strictly required to maintain a lot of height there. EnPassant just about meeting that cycle on Egg Golem. where he's trying to turn away, and now he's just going to go for a head smash hit, which is relatively safe.
Yep.
Can he get the last hit off the arm? He's trying for it, and he's...
Yeah, he got it. He's got the angle.
Very nice.
Okay.
Nice.
Notanigloo out of bounds. Hopefully won't make any big mistakes here. It's a pretty simple flight. The trick's not too hard to do. It's just you have to be careful if you're trying to do it too fast that you don't miss.
Yeah, he's just about to fall into the goal ring, but it's fairly easy to miss if you're going too fast, as IDG said, and a death here would be massive.
Okay, he makes it.
Yeah, he's perfectly in place for that. The problem is that if you're already too far away, there's a couple of invisible walls that you can actually hit around the area that can make it impossible to hit the goal ring. But he judges it correctly and is on to Meteor Herd without any real problems. So, about to see what the last set of RNG Igloo is going to get in his run is. I personally think he's going to get Ark's Huge Storage Area Piece 1. What about you?
I mean, that's a safe bet because that's like the most common first piece by far.
Ah, I was wrong.
Power. Ooh, this could be a little.
And he's
scary.
taking it as well. A lot of runners would choose to reset on this piece, given that it's at the bottom and can give a lot of very poor piece twos. So we'll see how this goes.
Oh man, are we gonna get it? Yes,
oh, got it.
Holding stone.
And that right there is why a lot of runners don't like running with bottom piece ones. This specific piece that he's got is infamous for being really bad, even by bad piece standards. You have to go all the way to the top of the stage, which isn't normally bad. There are a lot of good piece twos at the top, but even after this rocket drops you off, you have to climb much, much higher, and there is no faster way to do this than what you see right now. You really have to climb the wall this slowly.
Yep, it's a nice 10-second time. It's not near any hint monitors, so you have to like drill down and, you know.
Yeah.
It's really gross.
Given the way that the game generates pieces, you can only really get that piece with piece ones that are lower down.
Yeah, he actually gets what could have been a free piece. It would have been a little weird because he ended up getting a bottom first piece.
Yeah, it's possible to get this as a free piece, but it's generally quite difficult to judge.
Yeah, it's hard to see. And he's on the wrong pillar. He actually needs to go... Like, if you're coming from the spawn and you hit the spring up, it's going to be the pillar in the front left.
Yeah. Even knowing which pillar to go to, even that is a little difficult to judge, in my opinion.
Yeah, if you're coming down from the top,
piece.
it can feel weird. Hopefully he finds it.
Yeah, he's kind of struggling. I don't really blame him because this is quite an uncommon piece, and my bet is on him never having gotten this piece before.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Come on, man, you can do it. EnPassant's having to wait for his cycle a bit.
I think he may have died because he was at the EE skip spot before.
Yeah, judging by the timer too, some weird stuff happened. We were paying so much attention to Meteor Herd.
Yeah. Igloo's really struggling to find this piece though.
Oh wait, he sees it.
He's got it.
Okay. Oh, now now the hard part.
He's hunting it, but he knows where it is. All right.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of like a microcosm of why solid Knuckles knowledge is really important if you want to get good times in this game, because as far as like acceptable time ranges for the Knuckles stages go, we would normally say that like a bad Meteor Herd time is anything upwards of 1 minute. So to get like nearly 2.5 minutes, it really shows how much time can be lost from just not knowing where something is.
Yeah. The top level Knuckles runners, you really won't get a layout that'll cost you over a minute, just in general.
Yeah.
So
that's of course theoretically speaking.
Yeah. Anything can happen during a run.
Yeah. And you can get some really awful layouts in Meteor Herd. There are some pieces that are just so rare that even a lot of very experienced runners haven't seen several pieces that can spawn in that stage.
Yeah. Goes to show how much you need to practice. So you'll be ready for anything.
Either practice or watch other people practicing. It's, in terms of building your knowledge, it's almost as good a substitute for doing it yourself.
Yeah. Just, you gotta like engross yourself with just so much knowledge.
Yeah. So Igloo's reaching Crazy Gadget now. This and Final Rush are the last two Sonic stages, and they do both have major skips. I am very uncertain about what his game plan is for these stages, like which skips he's going to go for, if any.
He didn't go for any skips yesterday. I was actually kind of impressed with the time he got. He ended up, I think it was like a 225 or something.
For skipless CG, yeah, that's not too bad.
Yeah.
He's going
he doesn't get
checkless.
the checkpoint.
Yeah, he must not be going for any skips, because going for either of these skips without a checkpoint would be very, very brave.
Yeah.
It's closer.
Ooh, we get another bottom piece.
Are we going to get another floating stone? 2 for 2?
Double. The
Oh!
double dip.
Wow!
Double dip.
Oh my
Wow.
wow. That's incredible.
This is just a little sad.
Igloo taking a death almost a minute into Crazy Gadget there, though, and
He didn't
that-
grab the checkpoint there.
yeah, that lack of checkpoint, as I say, that can really hurt.
Yeah. He was right up at another checkpoint too. And that's like right before the acid, which you have to like hope that you don't bounce into the acid because you have the light dash that you need to do.
Yep.
Oh.
So, I mentioned about like not knowing whether Igloo was going to take any skips. I really don't know whether EnPassant intends to take any skips, because if he goes for, say, CGS and gets it quickly, he could actually make up a lot of the time difference here.
Yeah.
Especially because, judging from where he's going, he knows exactly where he's going for these pieces.
It's closer.
Yeah. A 104, a much stronger time. Especially given that he also got floating stone.
So second time lucky for Igloo. He, I can only assume that he had a problem with light dashing on the ring trail across that gap, and he accidentally bounced and landed in the acid. But he gets it second try there, so no problem.
I want to see how EnPassant handles Rouge. If he's
Yeah.
going to go in ringless or not. I've been making sure to say in pretty much every commentary thing that I've done that everyone should be going for ringless, because it's not harder, it's just scarier at first.
It's tense, yeah.
Yeah, but when you get used to it, it's a very consistent first hit. There we go.
There we go, yeah. Now he just needs to not get hit on the remaining hits, and as long as he has a lot of airtime, which he is now by repeatedly drill diving, then Rouge isn't too much of a problem. So, nice fight.
Away from my emerald.
notanigloo, again, on pretty good pace on the CG. It looks like he's gonna just about meet what he got yesterday, albeit with, the mess up, but it ended up resetting the whole stage for him.
Getting
All
this
things considered.
inverted super bounce first try, nice.
Yeah. Really a pretty good time. 213.
Yeah, not bad at all, especially considering in story runs you need to take a short detour to pick up the flame ring as well.
Yeah. Let's see if EnPassant can follow that up. Or maybe one-up him with the CGS.
Yeah,
CGS would save a huge load of time compared to notanigloo's skipless strats. But
like at this sort of intermediate level, CGS can save upwards of a minute.
let's see which switch he takes. Oh, he's going skipless too.
Yeah, he's also going skipless. Igloo is struggling with Eggman 2 though. He had a nice start to the fight, but then Eggman 2 shows that things in this fight can always rapidly get out of control, and it's difficult to regain control once that happens.
Yeah. If you get hit by his big laser, which is sometimes pretty hard to dodge, sometimes he follows you pretty well.
Yeah. Sometimes you can basically predict where you're about to go.
Yeah. Do you know, in general, is it better to be like further or closer to Eggman when he does that? I can't really figure out which.
Closer tends to be better. Like, in my opinion, the worst thing that can happen in that fight is that you propeller punch him into him using the laser, because when he uses it from very long range like that, it's very difficult to avoid. Purely
Yeah.
because, like, if you're at close range, even if you get hit by the first hit, you can generally get out of the way of the second hit. But at long range, if you get hit the first time, then it's just going to swing towards you very easily when you try to move.
Yeah, I figured the swing arc is like amplified further out, so
Yeah, exactly.
he moves faster relative. Notanigloo.
Oof.
Oh, yeah, that's some risky stuff there. If you are just slightly off the ring trail, you might actually light dash sideways.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that can happen there. Either you can be too far away from the ring and bounce, or you can actually contact the ring and then not be able to light dash because you collected the ring and still bounce.
Oh yeah. Notanigloo making it around the kill plane, but let's see if he has enough height
Yeah,
to finish off.
it's looking like a good attempt at final rush skip so far, so if Igloo's got this, which we'll be able to tell when the level comes back into view in a few seconds, then he's looking in good position to just close this out relatively quickly.
Ooh, EnPassant having a little bit of issues with this puzzle skip bounce. You have to hold... It's almost a diagonal upright angle, but it sometimes feels a little bit off just by your positioning.
Yeah, because the important thing with super bouncing against walls is that you really want to be hitting the wall straight on, and the camera doesn't face that wall straight on, so you have to compensate a little with the control stick angle. But Igloo does get his FR skip, so he's coming out with 124, which is quite nice. And now he's only got the final boss, SA2B, to contend with. And this fight has a lot of ways of throwing some unexpected curveballs to you, so let's hope that he deals with this in a composed manner, because you really just need to try not to panic on this boss when things start going wrong.
Messing up the... Ooh,
That's
a little bit of a mess up just right there.
getting the first hit with the light dash like that. It is possible, but it's a 3-frame window, I think.
3 frames, wow.
Yeah, because you can get the hit, but have it land too early and too late, which causes you to not be able to continue the fight very well.
Okay.
So a good first hit with the light dash is a 3-frame window.
Is it actually faster to do that than the homing attack, or is it just like the
Yes.
same?
It is faster, but it also makes the fight more difficult to finish from there on out because of the way the platform falling cycles work.
Oh, okay.
But it is potentially faster.
Alright, that's good to know.
Don't try it in runs, that's my suggestion. Don't go for it.
So, Notanigloo's gonna just try to cheese out Shadow with this bounce bracelet. Just hoping that, you know, a lot of the AI in this game doesn't like handling the case where you're above them. So, lots of times you can get nice hits just by doing that.
In this case, it's like specifically that Shadow's AI is programmed to respond to different things depending on the amount of hits he has remaining. At this point, he's designed to avoid hits from almost anything you can do, like homing attacking, somersaulting, even trying to storage into him. He will ignore that and won't let you hit him like that. But for some reason, he doesn't respond to attempts to bounce on him.
He just needs to get one little thing
There
of
he
rhythm,
is.
and there he goes. Alright.
47-47, nice round number.
Yeah. I don't think that's that far from his PV. I don't...
No, it's pretty respectable.
Yeah.
EnPassant, meanwhile, is just getting through FR skipless, so yeah, Igloo did choose to skip this stage. EnPassant is going through it skipless, but we are about to see if he's going to try to wall run as well.
I do think he goes for it. I'm pretty sure I've talked about this a tiny bit with him. Maybe
No,
not.
Okay,
Okay.
so he's just ascending up this long vertical section manually, which... The main problem with getting up this section is these vertical rails, because rails in this game at the best of times are programmed questionably, I'd say, and these ones are a lot more unpredictable.
Yeah. Especially if he tries to jump off of any of these rails. If he's holding a stick angle at all, just based on the camera, it's probably going to launch him sideways.
Yeah, you can get a lot of accidental rail switch jumps here.
Yeah. And I like how he kind of opts for the super bounce there. Again, avoiding weird rails.
Using the super bounce and then following it up with just a slope jump off the vertical rail, which is nice. You don't see that too often.
Yeah. You know, he's handling this with grace, I think.
Yeah. He's taken the stage conservatively, which like that sounds like a bad thing, but Final Rush is a stage where so many things can go so disastrously wrong that honestly the most important thing is just getting through the stage in one piece. So I definitely don't blame that decision.
He's heading into the final stretch of the stage. This last part was like a little bit of a reprieve. There's lots of stuff below you that you can fall on in case you mess up, but around here he's gonna start losing ground.
Oh, that was really questionable. Though,
That was not a good choice. That was not a good choice at all.
I can only assume that he thought he was still going to have a lot of speed on the rail and get a good trick jump off it, but yeah, landing on the platform and maybe even taking the spring would have been a much safer decision there. Thankfully, the checkpoint isn't too far away from where he is. Yeah, clearly he was trying for this.
There.
Nice.
That's impressive, actually. That rail switch is a lot harder than it looks.
And then getting onto that rail from the spin dash while the camera is not situated very well, so that was nice. After the respawn, that was played very well.
Yeah. He just took off his limiter or something. It's like,
yeah.
He has to end this strong. He's going to be ending this with like a 305, which...
Yep, dead on.
Yeah.
Yes!
305.55, even more dead on than you thought.
Yeah, some extra credit. But yeah, we'll see. We got a great EnPassant Shadow too, because definitely that was not a strong point on notanigloo's end.
Yeah,
so
right. I'm gonna get my clipboard out and start marking this.
All right, yeah, get the red pen.
Exactly. So just 5 hits and an ideal shadow fight is over in 16 seconds. But as we saw with Igloo's fight, there is a lot that can start rapidly going wrong.
He goes for a really quick hit there.
Yeah,
I don't know about that.
That's not like that's not entirely his fault that Shadow just decided to jump there, because on the first hit it can be basically random whether Shadow decides to avoid it or not.
Yeah, he's having just a little... Okay, I think he's got some rhythm now.
Yeah, he's looking in good position. Oh, he gets a low rebound though, and he doesn't react to it in time and accidentally homing attacks into the void. That's... Okay, when I say that things can just randomly go wrong in this fight, that's the exact sort of thing I'm on about. That was not really his fault.
He's having trouble slowing Shadow down.
And it's like, it goes to show as well that even at a high level, given that this is like the very end of the run, runs of this category are not over until they are over.
Yeah.
Until you've got the 5th hit and the in-game timer is stopped, you cannot call this run like a given.
Yeah. This boss is definitely not hard, but it's like a sleeper boss. It's, you know, if you're just playing a tiny bit off, you know,
yeah, and
punish you and make you lose tons and tons of time. And
considering that the timing for each of these homing attack hits is honestly not too wide, again, if you're at the end of a good run, the pressure is really high and it's very easy to choke. But he does close this out with... He's manually splitting, but that looked like a 52-36 to me. I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, it was a second or two slow on the final split. Yeah. I'd say, for the most part, their runs were okay.
Yeah.
Definitely a couple weird issues with both of their egg golems.
I did it.
EnPassant having a kind of weird Eternal Engine, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But
honestly, anyone can have a bad day with egg golem, though.
Yeah, egg golem is volatile. Requires you to, again, be playing crazy tight in order to get, like, super bounces. And, of course, if you mess up a super bounce, having the mentality to not get tilted, and it's a whole thing.
Egg Golem is a boss that can really punish greed as well, just from the way that his movement cycles work. Like, there are a lot of cases where you can try too many times to go for a super bounce, where you should have just gone for a free hit on the back platforms. And if you then judge incorrectly when to start going for the back platforms, you can actually just trigger a spin cycle as well. So yeah, it's definitely a boss with a bit of a mentality element to it.
Yeah. Good job to both of these runners, finishing out their runs.
Yeah, it was definitely a entertaining and, for quite a long time, quite a closely fought race.
Oh yeah. it was really close throughout the entire first half. So,
Yeah, definitely
have
kudos to both of them.
do we have any other races tonight, or is this supposed to be it?
I don't think so. I'm looking, but I'm not seeing anything.
Yeah. Okay, I don't see anything either.
Or, well,
Oh, wait, something got added.
apparently, at 10 p.m. we have Kid versus Tylenol, if I'm reading this correctly.
Okay, that should be a pretty close race. Again, I think
Yeah.
their PBs are really close, and I know 100% Tylenol's been putting in a crazy grind.
Yeah,
I imagine the only kid's been putting in the grind the past couple months too. Both really new runners.
Yeah.
So
so I guess that's going to be in about an hour 45, if my math is correct. I'm really bad. I'm really bad at
no,
time
it's
zone.
just 45. Just 45.
Yeah, I'm really bad at time zone conversion since daylight savings kicked in.
Oh yeah, that probably screws over everything for you guys. I can't. Wait, you guys have? Do you guys change times at all? It's like you
Yeah.
change times at a different.
Yeah,
like
we
a
change times.
time
It's just not
here.
at the same time as everywhere else.
That's so complicated.
It's-
Why did they
yeah.
do that?
I mean, it made me miss my streamed race the other day. So yeah. it
Yeah,
happens.
I saw. Man, but yeah, you guys should come back around here around 10 o'clock p.m. Again, it'll be like around 45 minutes. We're going to be seeing a pretty good match.
Yeah.
Both these guys around the 40-minute mark flat. So
Mhm.
that's going to be pretty exciting to see.
It's hopefully going to be a fairly balanced race, and it's hopefully going to include a few strats that you didn't see in this race as well. So there's definitely some fasts to be had.
Yeah. Let's hope it all comes down to Knuckles RNG and not any big mistakes, right?
Yeah.
Those are the best SA2 races where the game decides the victor.
I mean, it's good for the winner, not necessarily for the loser.
Yeah. Well, then at that point, it's like a John that you can have. And be like, we got all the same IGTs on the other stages, but
Yeah.
no, that way you can still be happy. Just compare all the others. We'll have like a category, Hero Story minus Knuckles. You add up all the
Absolutely,
IGT times without...
Just
Anyways.
go through all of the Sonic and Tails stages and stage select,
Yeah.
and then do a boss rush.
Oh yeah. Gotta do the bosses. The bosses are important. Anyways, that's probably enough of a tangent. So I'm gonna go ahead and hop off right now.
Yeah, I guess we will be back later, so hopefully we'll see you guys within the hour.
Catch y'all later.